Hello students, welcome again to another beautiful week that we are going to be exploring on some of the things that we have done previously. From last week quiz, I observed clearly that most of us we are having issues with some of the terms, some of the terminologies or key vocabularies in reproduction in flowering plants. So I deemed it necessary for us to look at some of them this week, since we are through with our scheme of work for the term, for us to explore on some of them so that we'll master some of these key vocabularies and get used to them, know their differences and their similarities. So we'll be looking at the key vocabularies on types of flowers. Types of flowers. That will be our topic for this week lesson. Flowering plants are classified into different stages or different ways. Just like in our lesson 2 weeks ago, we classify plants of flowers into three. We said that we classify them based on the position of their ovary. We classify them as hypogynous, epigynous, and the perigynous flowers. I want to make you to understand this, that you will see some questions or some examination, they will ask you what are the types of ovary in flowers. The types of ovaries in flowers are the same thing as the types of flowers based on the position of their ovary. Just for you to understand the link between the two questions. Types of ovaries in flowers are either ovaries are epigynous, or they are perigynous, or they are hypogynous. These are the links between these. So as we continue today, make sure that you will be able to itemize and capture these different types of flowers today that we will be exploring on. First one, we have complete flowers and incomplete flowers. What are complete flowers? Complete flowers are flowers that have both male and female parts. A flower that has naturally all the four floral parts. When we talk about the corolla, we talk about the gynoecium, and we talk about the calyx. When a flower has all the four essential floral parts, we say that that flower is complete. But when a flower has only or lacks one or more than one of these floral parts, we say that the flower is incomplete. Here we have, if we one of the major flowers, if any of this is missing, we have the stamen, which is for the male androgyne, we have the pistil, which is gynoecium, we have the sepal, we have the petal. If any of them is missing, we say that the flower, that particular flower, is incomplete. But if all these floral parts are in a particular flower, if a flower consists of all these floral parts, we say that that particular flower is a complete flower. Another name for a complete flower, even flower that we say that is complete, will probably be a bisexual flower. Okay, we have perfect and imperfect flowers. A perfect flower has the stamen and the pistil in the same flower. A flower that has both the carpels and the stamen are on the same flower. We have example like Pride of Barbados. We look at this flower now, we can see the stamen here. This is the anther and the filament which make up the stamen. We can see the stigma, we can see the style, we can see the ovule and the ovary. They make up the pistil. So a flower that has this, the stamen and the pistil, we say that it is a perfect flower. But any flower that lacks one of the two essential floral parts. One of the sex organ. Any flower that lacks either the flower lacks stamen or the flower lacks pistil, we say that it is an imperfect flower. The flower that has only one sex organ, either it has a male or a female sex organ. An imperfect flower, just as we have here, is also called a unisexual flower. But we are going to go into that. We will look at it. Maybe from here now, I'll also tell you that an imperfect flower as we have here, you can also call an imperfect flower a monoecious flower. A flower that has only one essential floral organ, that has only one sex organ. This is a monoecious flower. Why here you have a flower that has the two together, a perfect flower that has the two together? We said that flower is what? A dioecious or a perfect flower, because it consists of both the stamen and pistil in the same flower. We have inflorescence. What is an inflorescence? Inflorescence is just a group of flowers which attach themselves to a common stalk or axis. Here we can see different groups of flowers. Here we see different ways in which flowers are arranged on their axis or on the stalk. This it brings about inflorescence, because you see some places they will tell you that inflorescence is the arrangement of the flower on the stem or stalk. So here we can see that we have flowers that are arranged. All of them, they are arranged and grouped together in one stalk, in just a common stalk here. All of them, they emanate from here. The same thing this way, the same thing. All the flowers, they came out from one stalk. So when you have group of flowers, that attach themselves to a common stalk, we say that it is inflorescence. Different group of flowers that attach themselves to a common stalk. So if we look at this, we see different group of flowers that attach themselves into a common stalk. That brings about inflorescence. We have solitary flowers. What is a solitary flower? A solitary flower is one that is attached singly, either to the leaf axis or to the tip of a branch. A flower that is attached singly. Look at this flower. This is the leaf axis here. This flower is attached singly, directly to the leaf axis. Look at this one. It's attached singly to the leaf axis. Only it. There is no other sub-flowers. There is no other combined flowers here. It is only a single flower attached to the leaf axis. We have some example of this flower. We have hibiscus flower. We have pawpaw flower. These are different flowers that plays this role. You can see this is a leaf axis here. You see a single flower coming out here. Now this brings to my knowledge for me to correct one thing, because most of you will go to the internet to pick some certain things that is not encourageable. This is a pedicel. You are not advised to take this as a stem. This is a stem. This is a pedicel. Either you say pedicel or stalk or peduncle. Don't use this as a stem. I'm saying this because of external examination, and even though if you write it as a stem, that I will mark you wrong. Having understood what a solitary flower is, let's move to the next, regular and irregular flower. What is a regular flower? A regular flower is a flower that has all members of its whole on it. A flower is regular when all members of its whole, it has it on it. It has both petal, or it has the petals are identical in shape and size, and they are arranged on the receptacle. Not just that they are arranged on the receptacle. Such a flower can be cut vertically into two similar halves through only one of the several vertical places. So here now we have a regular flower. The major attribute of a regular flower and irregular flower is based on how you can cut them. One, regular flowers, that they have similar shape, they have the same shape, the petals and the sepals, they are of the same shape. And again, that you can cut them in any point. You can cut them in any plane. If you cut them here to get two halves, you can cut them here to get two halves. You can cut them here to get two halves. You can cut them here to get two halves. So you can cut them in any plane to divide them. Any flower that you can cut in any plane to divide them, we call them regular flower or actinomorphic flower. We describe them as actinomorphic flowers. Example of an actinomorphic flower is a hibiscus flower. Why irregular flower or zygomorphic flower is a flower that you can only divide it on only one plane. We call them bilateral flowers, while we call regular flowers radial flowers. They have a radial symmetry. Why here we have bilateral? You can only cut them only on one plane. The flower that its petals or sepals, they are not of the same size. Look at this. You see that the size of this and the size of this, they are not the same. They have variation in size and shape. And you can cut them vertically into two halves through only one plane. Through only one plane. If you cut it this way, they will not be. You won't get two equal halves. You can only cut it through only one plane to get two equal halves. That is an irregular flower or zygomorphic flower. A flower that is bilateral in symmetry. We have ancillary and terminal flowers. What is an ancillary flower? Ancillary flower is a flower that are born on the axils of leaves. Okay, here now we have the leaf axis here. Any flower that comes out from here, we call it an ancillary flower. Any flower that is born at the axis of the leaf, we call it ancillary flower. While the terminal flowers are the ones that are born at the end of the stem or branches. When you look at the terminal end of a stem or branch, any flower that comes at this particular point, at the terminal edge or the terminal bud, we say that it is a terminal flower. At the tip of the bud, that is the terminal flower. Unisexual flower and bisexual flower. What is a unisexual flower? A unisexual flower is the type of flower that has either stamen or carpels as its sexual flower. Remember, uni is one. So, whenever you hear about unisexual flower, which means that that flower has only one sex organ. It has either we call it a female flower, which we can also call a pistillate flower, or we call it a male flower, which we can also call a staminate flower. Remember, stamen. From there, any flower that has only male organs on it, we say that that flower is staminate. Any flower that has only female organs in it, we say that that flower is pistillate, pistil. So, in a unisexual flower, this is a situation where we have a flower that has only one sexual part organ in it. If either it is pistillate or it is staminate. Example, we have some that are pistillate, like maize and pawpaw. They are pistillate flowers. While we have the ones that are staminate, even some pawpaw too and maize, because this is born on a different flower. and this is born on a different flower. So pollination will always be cross because they are unisexual. Why we have bisexual? A bisexual has these two, the stamen and the pistil, in the same flower. The bisexual, we said that they are hermaphrodite flowers. They have both the male and female on it. They have both the carpels and the stamen on it. Example, we have Pride of Barbados. We have hibiscus flower. They have it. You will see the ovary and the ovule, the stigma and the style. You also see the anther and the filament. So these are the ones we call bisexual. Bi two, which means that the two floral parts, essential floral parts, are there. These are the bisexual flowers. Thank you. As we end our lesson this week here, be acquainted with these basic terminologies in flowering plants, so that it will be easy for you to identify their similarities and differences anytime, anywhere. Without knowing them, you won't be able to assimilate the lesson in a good way. I implore you to have the zeal to learn more, even as this word is tepal. Seek for this word. Tell me the meaning in the group forum. I will be glad to score you. Till next week, prepare for your test.